Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the counselor's office. Scholars, we are back at it again, and I'm just recording. I already did my review, and so I'm doing green screen videos for the week, and so we're back at it. We've got some Destiny videos. We've got ZK Mushroom. This was in my timeline, and so I was like, hey, let's book note it, come back to it later. And so here we are back later. We have decided to sit down and talk a bit about Trials and why I think Trials population will continue to go down, which is something that's very interesting because a lot of people thought that the player population would continue to go up, especially with how easy it is to get loot. But we do have some statistics. I love this game, but this is depressing. So we have current population Friday, which was the 28th, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. So Trials Labs. And apparently it says it's all platforms worldwide. So all platforms, only 3,568 on a Friday night is playing Trials. 1,431 on all console and PC guarding games. Control, which is like the free play. I like how we have Gambit. We have Gambit, class versus class. 819. There are 800 people playing Gambit. There's a lot of people. There's more people playing private matches than I thought. 400. And then momentum control, which hurts my soul because I like momentum control. Like it makes me sad that, you know, people don't like momentum control. It's really fun. And then 54 Rumble, which makes sense. It's solo, a lot of sweaty people play. It's good practice to learn, you know, to play on your own, not have to rely on a team. But overall, we're going to jump into it. We're going to watch this, and we're going to see what's about. I'll put the link to the video down below. Trials of Osiris will be dead soon. Destiny 2 rant. It needs to change. I'm very interested to see where this goes. Let's see. Let's find out. Everything is set. Let's put max.
Trials of Osiris. How do I make this video? The most iconic endgame PvP activity of Destiny. It's been there since Destiny 1 House of Wolves 2015, so it's been there for 10 years, and it's just been so successful. But right now, you saw the title, I have to rant about it, and I'm scared for Trials of Osiris. I know it had ups and downs. It's not always perfect, but right now I'm genuinely scared, and I think that Trials is going to continue going down and probably...
Whoa. Okay, so week 198. So that was last year.
Die. In Destiny 1,
hold on.
I'm genuinely scared, and I think that...
Okay, so this is very recent. This is literally like 5 days ago. Player count down 13%. 122K players. And this is being tracked by, I'm assuming, Trials report, right? And so matches about almost 500K. Flawless players. So that's not bad. That's like half your population is actually going flawless. Now, I don't know if flawless, I'm assuming it's not considering the just 7 general wins as flawless going to Trials. I don't know how they track it now. Maybe they can track it individually as people who've actually gotten 7 wins in a row without actually, having a flawed passage. I don't know how this works. But if it is true 7 in a row without losing, half your population or almost half your population is actually pretty good.
Trials is going to continue going down and probably die. In Destiny 1, I would even say that Trials of Osiris in year 3 actually saved the Destiny franchise because it was all people played and all people watched. Back in the days and for a long time, Trials was...
Yeah, but back then, a lot of people were on console, and there wasn't a lot of other, like, outside of, like, Halo. And you gotta think that Destiny didn't have the negative connotation that Destiny 2 has. I mean, you're talking about the sunsetting, you're talking about the layoffs. Destiny 1 was still in its prime. I mean, especially coming off of King's Fall, like there was a lot of hype in Destiny still. People were still willing to check it out and see what it was about. Whereas Destiny 2 it's kind of coasted along for so long that it's built up such a negative connotation that most people don't even want to give it a shot. Rightly so, because of Bungie. The game itself is still good. It's just the people driving it is just not.
was maintaining a healthy population with over 200k every weekend, 300k, 400k sometime, so it was doing really good. Unfortunately, don't know what happened with Destiny a few months back, but we started losing a lot of players. It definitely affected Trials because Trials was not receiving any updates.
I'm gonna tell you what happened. We start getting shittier weapons. We got like scout rifles and bows and a slug shotgun, which I guess the top PvP players want, but you want to have guns that also PvE players want to try to play PvP for. Because whenever you only have just the small population of PvPers playing PvP, you're only going to get PvP, which is this, when you want the whole game interested into your game mode. And so there just really hasn't been a lot of good weapons recently that have screamed, you want this to be able to do, contest mode, or you want this to have, a leg up on the competition. There just hasn't been anything that screams it. I mean, we got a 3-burst hand cannon, which is mid. We got a heavy burst strand pulse rifle, which honestly is mid compared to like the Salvation's Edge solar one, which has so many good options. Whereas the strand one is, again, I still think strand itself is just a bad weapon archetype because all it has is more defensive use. And when you're using a primary, you want more offensive. And hatchling is not that good either. So I think there's also the choices of like subtypes and the choices of the elements and just what weapon perks are on the guns in general. They have not been good.
It's no new armor, no new weapons, and it was just kind of getting stale. So we kind of started slowly losing the population that we had in Trials, and we even reached the lowest point of Trials in history with a weekend of 40,000 players in the full weekend. So Bungie definitely had to do something about it. So
well, and granted, I will also say that was during episode Revenant, which if we go to the player count, which we go to the most recent player count, which is dipping off again. But if we go into like December and January for the whole game, yeah, it was bad. The whole player count, and yeah, you can say, well, about console players, it's not really going to improve that much. Let's be honest. Most people who are dedicated to Destiny have now moved over to PC mostly. They're still console players, but you still have to pay for it on console. There is no like Game Pass Destiny, to my knowledge, for Xbox, and then PlayStation, you have to pay for a subscription and pay for the game. Whereas PC, you just play. So most people are on PC. But these numbers are they're abysmal. So yeah, I could see why PvP took a hit. Is because the whole game took a hit.
So they decided to do a revamp of Trials of Osiris, allowing people to reach the lighthouse with just 7 wins, so no 7-win streak. It's definitely a good idea, and when they announced it, I knew the population would be like crazy in Trials, and it was on the first day, 300,000 players back into Trials in the first weekend. But this system is unfortunately not...
Holy crap. 1,870k, rounded up to 188 or whatever, if you want to round up numbers, just for the sake of saying it. Flawless. And there was almost 300. So almost over half the players went flawless. And then the flawless characters themselves. Like, this number is insane. These are insane numbers. Because it used to be like, and we're not talking, which is weird because it's harder to go flawless now because you have no mercy. It is incredibly harder to get 7 flawless wins. I've got mine for the episode. I could care less about going. I've got my shader. I got all like the new ornaments. The only thing I didn't get was the new emblem, and I'm like, whatever. I'll never wear it. I don't care. But you can also say that about the cosmetics. But I just got it for just the fun of it. But the fact that it is harder to go flawless, and yet more people are going flawless, either is more people are paying for recoveries, 2, people are asking for more carries, or 3, people are getting really lucky and they're going against nonstop blueberries and they're able to farm them, which I have heard that is also happening. Unfortunately, I usually get the blueberries as a solo player, so it's always a worse time. Except for like the last week or so, I think when I went solo flawless, I had a lot of blueberries. I always had the dudes that try to flank and he would just always die. Like those happen quite often. Thank you for that one dude that literally gave us the win for our 7th flawless. Once I knew he was always going to, flank like an idiot, I was like, look for the guy, we're going to win.
Sustainable. You're giving access to the lighthouse to a lot of people, and it's kind of losing the prestige of getting lighthouse or flawless, and it's just not as rewarding, I would say. I'm happy that people...
Which is funny. It is funny that he says that when literally just a week ago when they had the double loot, people were praising. Even before that, the first week when people opened up the chest as a team and loot just shot out there. I don't know how, like, when we're talking about rewarding, it must be just the self-appreciation because this game mode is very rewarding.
Jump into Trials and have fun with it. But most people, especially casual players, are only going into Trials for the loot. And this has been a huge debate in my Twitch chat at twitch.tv/JKMushroom. And essentially it weakens that the loot is not good. They know that the population is not going to be good. That's a big issue. Knowing Bungie history, unfortunately...
Beware of over-delivery. You're creating a pattern. This is another reason that Bungie will never meet the peak of Destiny 1 is because this will forever stain Destiny 2. Like, you can think of a lot of crap that happened to Destiny 1, like how crazy the story was all over the place and how messy it was, but there is nothing like this that has stained Destiny 1. Like, the legacy of Destiny 1 is set in stone, and that's why a lot of people remember it with fond memories. Destiny 2 has a lot of negative connotation, man.
Actually, right now, it's the case. They're not adding enough loot to Trials to be sustainable on a long term with the system. This is the loot that you can get in Trials at the moment. We got Asia Scare Pulse Rifle, Exalted Truth Hand Cannon, Keen Thistle.
So here's the thing. Mid, I have seen only a handful of people use it in actual PvP. And in PvE, there are so many, maybe after this season when the artifact mods go away, we'll see an uptick in its use. I've used it. I thought it was all right. There's like, I think, better void weapons to use, but it's all right. The sniper is only good, in my opinion, for damage rotations in PvE. Like, I'm not going to, like, I got the meme roll triple tap 4 times, but if I'm going to use a sniper, I'm going to use Praetus. I mean, Praetus is just the best sniper in the game. And for PvP, I've seen a couple of people use it. I don't know. I haven't tried out the under pressure closing time, which we know closing time is getting a 50% nerf. So this might not even be good anymore. We'll find out.
Sniper rifle, Shayura's Wrath, some machine gun.
Which some machine guns, 600s are like the better version to use in PvP. But again, I don't see it a lot unless you're using a specific build. It does pop off. I would say it's the better PvP. For PvE, not so much. I think 900s or 720s are the better slot. 600s are kind of in the middle. They're kind of mid.
Tomorrow's answer,
which is one of the best rocket launchers, or was until Hezen's Vengeance came out. And so now everyone's going to be using Hezen's Vengeance. This rocket launcher is still good for Void if you want the surges. But outside of surges, the best rocket in the game, you guessed it, Hezen's Vengeance.
Yesterday question.
Which is one of the worst hand cannons in the game. It does do massive damage, but it's just very mid. Like, it's just 3 bursts are just, they're not as, I don't know. The perks, Volt Shot is cool. Outside of that, it's just meh.
Unfortunately,
people don't use it in PvP either.
Only gonna get 1 or 2 weeks out of like 2 months that people are actually gonna be playing for. We are getting the Inquisitor back, which is gonna be the best shotgun in the game, but at the moment we don't have it. So what's costing Trials of Osiris right now is definitely the loot. We are in a Destiny era where people only grind activities to receive loot, and not because the activity is fun in general. So when you don't have enough loots or enough like fun loots or good loots, it's unfortunately not going to do good. And by having 1 weapon that is obtainable per week, it is making people play on Friday and Saturday a little bit to get the weapon. Once they reach the lighthouse and obtain the weapon once or twice, they completely stop playing. So you get a big spike on Friday, Saturday. Sunday, Monday, it is completely dead. The solution for that is definitely adding more exciting loot.
So I want to make a slight argument. You're going to have a big population, especially in America. A lot of people are going, I'm not saying everyone, let's be honest. I'm just going to say there's a theoretical number out there somewhere where all those people are going to be hanging out with family on Sunday. There's going to be people going to church on Sunday. There's people that are going to be doing, whatever, or they just want to relax. They don't want to play games. They just lounge around, or they're doing laundry, or, a lot of people use Sunday as their recharge day and that they're doing all kinds of other stuff. Monday, most people are going back to work, right? So they're not worried about playing Trials on a Monday unless they're desperately trying to get the loot. Most people are it's back to business until reset. So Saturday, Friday being the biggest time for people to play makes logical sense. Again, I'm talking from a perspective of also America. If you look at across the world, obviously a lot of people don't have the same routines as Americans do on Sunday. And even Americans on Sundays don't have the same routine. And same thing with Mondays. Some people might be off on Mondays, and it might be just an extended weekend for them. Everyone's going to be different, but I think if you're just theoretically looking at the possibilities, that it makes sense.
And also making it so that every gun can drop from the lighthouse chest randomly. So every weekend can do good because every weekend has a chance to give people what they want. But ZK, we don't like RNG. I don't like grinding trials for no reason and not getting what I want. Okay, fine. They can do exactly what they did with Onslaught back in the days. You grind the activity, but before grinding the activity, you go to the tower and you talk to Saint 14 and you can attune a weapon in particular that you want to drop more often. So if, for example, I want to get the Exalted Truth in a weekend, I can go talk to Saint 14, I attune the weapon, and I'll be able to get increased chances of getting the weapon throughout the weekend. And you can even add Adept shiny weapons. They have extra perks, extra...
I think that's actually... And here's the thing. He's 100% right. You can't see it because I'm covering it, but it has like slide shot. I think that is exactly what needs to happen. I think there needs to be a higher, like when you're looking at endgame, you see master raids. What they get up to 3. When you look at grandmasters, you get 1 in 1 slot. You get comp, which is supposed to be like has its own thing. I think trials for like the top of the top should be double perks or triple perks in every slot. I would say at least double perks in every slot, and it's shiny, and it should have like a special origin trait. And yes, there are going to be people that are pissed at that because they're like, I want that. But you can get the regular adept version, you can get the regular version and enhance them. And enhancing some of these guns compared to the adepts, there really is no difference. Like an adept versus a normal does exactly the same thing. And I would even argue that you'd be like, well, you can use adept mods. Like, what about adept range? Well, you can use the enhanced version, which gives you 6 range, 4 less, but also gives you stability or handling or whatever you want to choose. And so it's a better package deal for some of these guns to just enhance them and use the enhanced mods because they've kind of power crept the adepts. So giving adepts like double perks in every slot or triple perks in every slot in trials would make sense since it's supposed to be the hardest in-game PvP like challenge. I don't know.
Stats, something like that. Just exactly like they did with Onslaught. The best system that Bungie had in place was in Destiny 1, and I still don't get why they changed the formula. Essentially, you would reach the lighthouse. It was a social space, so people could see other people that reached the lighthouse, which was awesome. It was good to, like hit a little dance, a little dab in front of people and flex on them.
That's the thing. The lighthouse was actually, it was cool to go to. The lighthouse in Destiny 2, people who've never played Destiny 1 will never know how cool it was to go to a tower. Like, they'll never understand how cool it was and just hang out friends. And you had multiple guardians and you're just running around the guns you just earned, like, hey, what's up, guys? And you just got to chill. You got to vibe. You got to have a good time.
And yeah, you would have to walk towards the chest, and after you would open the chest, and you had a chance of getting random stuff. You never knew what you were gonna get. You could get an exotic emblem, you could get materials, and you would get a random Trials of Osiris weapon. They had a summoner, the scholar, the messenger,
Eye of Osiris,
the jewel of Osiris.
Isn't it funny that literally Eye of Osiris was an exotic emblem? Or was it Eye of Osiris? Or was it, it's been a minute. It's been such a long time. It was Eye of Osiris, or was the Scarab one there was an actual exotic emblem, which I wish they would do again.
And they kept changing the loots every year. And the best thing about the system was definitely the armor sets. Essentially, you would get flawless, get the armor sets.
Yes.
And once you reach the lighthouse, you would get flawless vigil ornaments.
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to use the flawless ornaments.
Oh my God, these were so sexy. I love Titan. It was so good. And Hunter looked pretty good. Warlock was, but Titan looked sexy with those gauntlet. Oh my God, what a beefcake. The Bungie used to make great armor of ornaments. It's so stupid that they get so lazy in Destiny 2, and they just put it in the weapon or in the Eververse store.
From each lighthouse, each flawless, to put it on your armor and get a glow. That is creating a more rewarding armor sets than what we get right now. And it definitely looked cool.
Wait. He did that way too fast.
That is creating a more rewarding armor sets than what we...
So right now, if you get 5 wins, you get the yellow glow. You get 6, you get white, and 7. I hate this glow system. It is... For once, I think if you go 5 through 6, you should have it a toggleable. It is so stupid to have a glow that you don't get permanently. And I get the idea of, well, if you want to wear it infinitely, you have to go infinitely flawless every week, right? You have to... But it's so stupid. Maybe I like the yellow glow and I don't want the red glow, but I have no choice. What about the white glow? And that's why I think the emblems, wearing the emblems was all right, because you got to choose the flavor. But I personally think that there's some pieces of the armor I don't want to glow regardless. And so being able to toggle it off and on at your choice, I think once you unlock it, you should just be able to have it. This is stupid, and it will forever be stupid.
We get right now. And it definitely looked cool in Destiny 1, and that's probably why people were using it. But in Destiny 2, I'm gonna be honest, I've grinded every single Trials armor sets, and unfortunately, I get the armor sets, and I just never wear it.
No.
It doesn't feel fun or rewarding to get the armor. But in D1, I would get the entire armor set from playing Trials, but after
What the hell?
Farming the flawlesses to be...
Dude, in Kutch, I forgot what his name is. I remember watching this guy on like way back in the day. Oh my God, the Iron Banner armor set, the horns, dude, the Rise of Iron armor set was so badass. But dude, yeah, this is a throwback. I wonder if he still like plays Destiny or not.
Able to get a glow on each armor sets, and some of them, for example, the chest piece, require 2 flawless. So I had to get flawless twice, and after equip the
double
ornaments
flawless
on my chest piece. I had to get multiple flawless to get the full armor sets on each character. And that would definitely make people play more often in Destiny 2, because you're making the lighthouse accessible with 7 wins. A lot of casual players are going to get the armor sets, and they could just get 7 wins and play each weekend to get their ornaments. And even better, in Destiny 2, there's currently 3 armor glow. There is yellow, blue, and red. You could make it so if people go on
I thought it was white, not blue.
a win streak of like 5, 7, even 14,
Hell yeah.
30 if you want.
Ooh, purple.
They could choose with the token which color they want
Hell
to use
yeah.
on their armor sets. You can have different colors. You can even create an armor set that has the win streak on the person like chest, on the person cloak, or on the shoulder. To be able to flex at a tower that you got like a 50 win streak or a 12 win streak. Why not make the Trials armor artifice so I can farm for a better build while playing Trials? I know the armor system is changing.
And that's the problem with comp. Why does both comp and Trials exist? I'm going to say it right now. Why does it exist? I know they put Artifice in comp and then people go for the emblem, but I feel like comp and Trials are trying to achieve the same thing, but not the same thing. Like, and then we have Iron Banner. So we have like 3 different PvP modes that all try to do something. They're pretty much the same thing, but not the same thing. Like Iron Banner is obviously the more casual, but now they're trying to make Trials more casual. So it's like, I don't know, man. It's when you have all these similar modes, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I think the introduction of a comp mode should have just been Trials of some sorts, or I don't know. Maybe I'm beating a dead horse and I don't know what I'm talking about. It doesn't affect me. I do my random comp runs to get my weapons, and I call it good. Same thing with Trials. Like I farm it out and then I'm done. Iron Banner, same thing. Like these events, I just go with the flow with whatever Bungie chooses to do with them.
changing, but they could do something with that with a new system in Frontier. So that's for the loots. Another issue in Trials right now is the maps. Unfortunately, we are stuck playing the same map for Friday to Tuesday, so for a couple days in a row. And when the map is not good and the loot is not good, people don't want to play that weekend.
Disjunction.
The solution for that, and I've been saying it for a long time, you need map rotation. You need to have a map.
I don't know if you can hear that, but there's literally an ice cream truck outside my house. Hey, you gonna bring a new map?
Change daily. So each Destiny reset would be a different map. So you start the weekend on a Friday on Javelin, and the next day it's changing to Endless Vale. And the day after it's changing to Bannerfall. And after it's changing to Disjunction. Okay, we get 1 day of Disjunction, it's over, and that's it. It's not stuck the entire weekend. Another thing that Bungie needs to add is the Mercy rule back.
Yes.
That system which allows you to lose a game and not lose any progress towards your win streak.
Please.
Would be phenomenal to have back. Destiny, it is too RNG. There's bad servers, there's cheaters, there's people teleporting, lagging,
it's so bad.
But having this extra chance is just super awesome to have. Another super important update that they got to do, and I know...
And I think for people... Here's another thing. You have new players who are joining, who aren't even doing, like, there's two different versions. There's the kind of the starter version, and then there's the one that lets you go to the lighthouse and get your, you know, your juicy bits. Most people who are competitive are playing the main one, whereas new players are like, I want to jump in and do this, and they're not even playing the other version. There's a lot of toxicity that's being formed because of that. And you're also having people who are wanting to play legit solo who are being punished because they got paired with duos who just suck, or they're out there being stupid. And so it feels bad as a solo player when you have no mercy. So having a mercy can come in clutch, especially when you have garbage players on your team that you don't want to play as with a group. If they're not going to let you do freelance and play always solo, they need to introduce at least a solo mercy, in my opinion. If you're playing solo, you should absolutely get a mercy.
Complicated to bring it back, but they need to bring back...
I also think if people leave, you should get a mercy. Whether it's a group or a solo player leaving, the moment someone leaves, it literally is a handicap. It is handicapping. It's not fair. And yes, I've left like hundreds of matches and just said, I don't care. You know, I'll spend 30 minutes, you know, banned from playing, and I don't care because I'm either watching anime or playing something else. It's no big deal to me. Whereas people that are, you know, trucking it out, struggling, they get punished for it. And I do believe that they should at least get a free mercy that continues to go on even after that, because they didn't, you know, or the game kicks someone out. A lot of the reasons that you should get a mercy. Now, if you just continually fail and you suck, then you should only just get the one mercy and call it a day.
Freelance. I've been saying it for years.
Yes!
But freelance was the best thing that happened to Destiny PvP. You allow people to play solo, which increase the population because a lot of people can't find teammates to play with. They go in and they're playing against other solo players, right?
Which makes it more random. If you have a team of two going against a team of two, the two teams are talking to each other, whereas the other dude is left out, and you're sitting there playing Simon Says, and you're trying to follow where they go, and you're like, well, okay, what are we doing? And they're not even talking in chat. And you're trying to ask them, like, hey, let's do this. And then they say, less talking, more playing. Like, bitch, I'm trying to coordinate as a team. You guys are talking to each other. I'm not. I'm not part of your group. I'm trying to communicate. It's just, it is such a bad system pairing with duos when you don't want to.
When they added fireteam-based matchmaking, everyone started playing duo queue, and it doesn't mix well. When you play solo queue and you match with a duo, there's lobby balancing. Sometimes you get a bad duo. Sometimes you play against a good duo. So it's really tough to win. They can communicate and you can't. So it's really unfair to have in any competitive aspect of Destiny.
Exactly.
And let's be honest, duo queue just doesn't have a place. If you can find a friend, you can find an extra one, you know? You either play 3-stack or you play freelance. Duo queue should never exist in Destiny.
Absolutely. Thank you, ZK. He understands duos should not exist.
One of the worst thing that they added with this revamp is the fact that once you get 7 win streak, which is a flawless card, they put you in a flawless pool. Flawless pool was really bad for 2 years, and they finally removed it, but they brought it back with this revamp for no reason at all. Essentially, if you get the 7 win streak, it is skill-based matchmaking. So this, I know it's a tough subject, but it just doesn't have a place in Trials. So what that means is that if me, Frost, and Astrocross get flawless, for example, we start matching people with the same skill level as us for the weekly performance that we have. So if we have a 3 KD each, we start playing people with 3 KD each. Who are the people with 3 KD each? Mostly cheaters, mostly meta abusing like Invis Hunter. It is just awful. It makes people stream snipe us. It's just, it doesn't have a place. And once you reach that 7...
I think he's talking, so he's talking from a streamer point of view. I'm going to tell you from someone who's gone solo and farmed the what usually happens is that you go against Chads. You go against Chads who literally know what to do as a team. And when you're playing like solo and you get paired with duos, there's a bunch of duos who just either one, they got carried, or two, one person has gone, yeah, one person got carried, the other one maybe went legit, or the one person carried their friend, and now they're in the flawless pool. Like, there's a lot of reasons why people get flawless. But those players who shouldn't be in the flawless queue, and you pair up with them, and you just get run over because they're like, how did you make it? And you know that their teammate either was a god and carried them, or they just paid for recovery, and now they're trying to farm the flawless queue. I think the drop rate of wins is really nice. Getting Adept, like I was getting raining loot every time we got a win, but the problem, it felt like every loss, it wasn't worth it. It sucked. There were times where I felt like I would rather just reset my passage and just get 7 wins because I could get 7 wins faster than it felt like trying to get a good team to win one round to try to get loot. I'd rather try to get 7 wins and just get the chest and get the loot again. I don't know. That's just me. It feels like the flawless pool is rewarding, but only if you win.
Win streak, what sucks is that you cannot reset your card. You can only get 1 flawless per week, compared to back in the days where you could reset and farm like 1,000 flawless in one weekend, or you could keep your card at 7 to get more loots. At the point I am in Destiny right now, I don't need the Trials loots. I want to be able to reset my card, do some Trials challenges, and be able to get flawless multiple times in a weekend. And it's more fun to go to the lighthouse chest and open it multiple times than just play at 7 wins.
So again, from his point of view, he's doing it just for content, and I don't think he's doing a good case for himself. But as someone who isn't doing it for content, who wants the loot, I do find being able to reset and re-earn like the loot from the chest and getting. I think there needs to be like a hybrid of both systems. I also don't like the tokens. I think the token drop only coming from, you can get drops from wins after you go flawless. I feel like the token system could be flushed out, which would help people get the adepts a little bit more. I don't know. The token system feels like it's just thrown in there.
But DK, you don't want to play against people the same skill level as you. I understand. But the system is not good enough. It doesn't have enough players in the flawless pool because everyone's doing carries to avoid it. So when you play flawless pool, for example, if I play solo queue, I match against a lot of people that are really good on the other team. But unfortunately, the matchmaking cannot find enough people to put 6 good players in the lobby. So it finds like 2.
Yeah, it makes you be the carry. You're the free carry. Essentially, that's what happens. You become the free carry. And there were times where that happened to me. I'm a very strong average PvPer. I'm not out here cranking up 3.7 every game. But there are games where I pop off, and I have unfortunately carried in the flawless pool, which shouldn't be a thing.
2 or 3 like really bad players, and with lobby balancing, they're always on my team, which ended up being awful every time I play solo.
It is a bad experience.
That drop 0 kills, 1 kill in 9 rounds, and it's just not fun for me.
It's
also
not.
not
It's
fun
so
for the
bad.
casual players that get thrown into the lobbies there. So flawless pull needs to be removed completely.
And what that does from a casual, like, he would never do it because he's streaming in front of people. But as someone like me, I'm not afraid to call out people who are being useless. I mean, like, hey, this is a team play. You need to stop being ass. Play the objective or do something. Like, or stop rushing out there like an idiot and try to flank because you've died every time you flanked and you've handicapped us because you're literally dog water. Like, I will call out stupid plays. And we're not talking about just the regular. We're talking about in the flawless pool. Right? I think we can agree if you're in the flawless pool, you should be good enough to handle it. And so if you're playing like you've never played Trials before and you're in the flawless pool, I think you deserve some hate if you're playing like a ding dong.
And I think it is time to bring back the card-based matchmaking, which means that you essentially play against people that are at the same amount of wins as you on their card. If I'm at like 6, I start matching people at 6, which adds a lot of intensity, and it's just more rewarding to beat the team at 6 and get the lighthouse than if I'm at 6 wins and I beat a team at 1. So that's pretty much it on the changes that Bungie should be doing. This is just solution. I'm not forcing Bungie to do any of that. I do hope they watch the video. And the last thing that I want to say is that Trials of Osiris needs the special ammo meter, and I know Bungie is working on it, but I feel like Trials is not intense enough like it was back in the days. People only get 1 sniper bullets, 1 shotgun bullets. You're not able to make any plays by yourself or just push a lot of people aggressively with a shotgun. And I know a lot of people hate special ammo. I do hate special ammo, but they're needed in Destiny to make the gameplay more interesting.
Just a side note, and it's just a small little rant.
In Destiny to make the game.
Remember when you could aim down sight with last word and it was okay? If there's ever a buff that they could do is let you aim down sight with last word and it not penalize you. Just small rant.
Play more interesting. So obviously you need a healthy meta, you need good loots, and you need some solid changes to matchmaking, and you can actually bring back Trials to where it was.
And I would say you just need to make a healthy game ecosystem, because without players in general, you're not going to have anyone in PvP. Period.
Thank you for watching this video. I don't do those rants.
Yeah, I'm gonna end there. I agree. I think everything he said was completely correct. I think he's absolutely on the dot, and he is the PvP go-to guy. And if he's saying some of the similar things I'm saying, it's not you. If you don't want to believe me, believe him. He's the PvP main. Now, again, I tried to give some more takes from a non-PvP content creator perspective, because there were some things he said that were like, okay, well, you're focused on your content side of things. But even from just an average, like a strong average, I wouldn't even say like a top player. I would say I'm just a strong average where I can really pop off, but there's times where I also play like dog doo-doo. And I'm very honest about it. Like, if you give me a good team, I can pop off. But you're not going to see me carrying. I mean, I'll do carry sometimes, but you're not going to see it happen often. Like, I'm not a Chad, like ZK. I'm not a Chad Meister out here carrying. Outside of that, guys, let me know what you think. If you're a PvP sweat, what do you think that they could do to make people stick around in Trials? I do think loot is a big thing, and I do think like armor is probably the most useless thing in Trials. Like, the glows were like the perfect thing to chase, in my opinion. But that's me. Hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel for more. As always, game out. Huzzah! I said huzzah!